Member care is how we support, train, and care for missionaries worldwide. We talk about Timothy today, one of Paul's closest co-workers, and I have titled it The Making of a Leader from a member care point of view. Today we start with the theology of suffering. Last time we ended with a disagreement between Paul and Barnabas over John Mark in Acts 15. Barnabas and Paul went separate ways, and Paul chose Silas as his travel companion, and they went out to revisit the churches established during the first mission journey. Now is Acts 16. Paul and Silas travel through various regions, including Derbe and Lystra, where Paul meets Timothy. Paul came to Derbe and then to Lystra, where a disciple named Timothy lived, whose mother was Jewish and a believer, but whose father was a Greek. The believers in Lystra and Iconium spoke well of him. Paul wanted to take him along on the journey, so he circumcised him because of the Jews who lived in that area, for they all knew that his father was a Greek. So, what do we have here? Timothy grew up in a mixed cultural environment shaped by Jewish mother, Greek father. He was already a disciple of Jesus when Paul met him in Lystra. Paul saw great potential in Timothy and invited him to join the mission. To remove obstacles to Jewish evangelism, Paul had Timothy circumcised as a strategic move for cultural acceptance. As a son of a Greek father, Timothy was not circumcised at that point. So to reach the Jewish communities, Paul circumcised him. Let me repeat this again. This is so important. To remove obstacles to Jewish evangelism, Paul had Timothy circumcised as a strategic move for cultural acceptance. So, missionaries often have a calling for a specific people group, a nation, a marginalized group in society, a language group, and so on. So, you are here and they are there. So there is a gap between where you are today, where the missionary is, and what the missionary wants to accomplish. What do you do then to bridge that gap? You prepare to remove obstacles in between so that you are culturally acceptable by the group you want to reach. Makes sense, doesn't it? In Timothy's case, this was the circumcision. Circumcision as an adult, maybe he was in his late teens or early 20s. This can be extremely painful, especially 2,000 years ago without anesthesia. In our case today, removing obstacles means move to a new country, a new environment, learn a new language, dress differently. For example, in a Muslim culture, you have to dress differently, adjust to local roles of men and women, another cultural adjustment, you eat local food, etc. A lot of adjustments, a lot of obstacles to overcome. You see, this really takes an attitude of paying a price to remove obstacles, to reach a certain group of people. And that includes pain. Well, Timothy, definitely, but in our life also, pain. You remember what I shared about Paul? But the Lord said to Ananias, "Go, this man is my chosen instrument to proclaim my name to the Gentiles and their kings and to the people of Israel. I will show him how much he must suffer for my name." Acts 9. All missionaries suffer to a certain degree. What is your attitude towards this suffering? Do you accept it or do you reject it? Because it becomes a missionary care topic when missionaries really struggle with pain and suffering, when they fully reject pain and suffering. I don't want to suffer, I want a more comfortable life, I can't do this anymore. Then it becomes a missionary care topic. We have different words for this in missionary care trainings and missionary preparations. We ask, what is your theology of suffering? What is your biblical understanding of suffering? Imagine you will suffer for Christ. You experience painful things. Where do you put this in your theology? So important to prepare and understand this. The other word we use in member care is resilience, the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties and pain. So that means maintaining emotional stability and continuing to function despite challenges and pain. The level of resilience or the capacity is different for each one of us, as is the calling God has on our lives, also different for each one of us. So we don't need to be all Superman or Superwoman, no, but are you prepared to remove obstacles in your life so that you are culturally acceptable to the group you are called to reach? Think about your calling or your heart for certain people or people groups. Having an attitude to adapt to cultural expectations serves your calling. How much suffering and pain are you willing to accept as you adapt and reach out to this group? It's not easy to answer, but important as you process your theology of suffering.